Real estate mindset. I have a treat for you guys today. We're about to do an interview with a SAR Communication Center member. I just left Chimney Rock. You guys are going to love that story. Drove all the way out here, and real quick before I begin this video, I wanted to say thank you. The original SAR team in Tennessee, we generated about, counting the tithe for my wife and I think $8,500. They were flat broke when we saw them. So, they're talking about you guys nonstop. And, this video is going to be extremely important because, well, just listen to this. I appreciate your time today, and I'm looking forward to discussing your concerns and basically why you're here and what what you're doing. Can you start by telling the viewers why you're here and what you're doing?
So I am a psych and marketing major. That 30 days ago, I had no idea I'd be doing this.
Lacey, how are you able to do this? I mean, are you working right now? Talk about.
No, I quit my job 2 weeks ago to do this full time. I actually did just spend my last dollar. So we have a 501(c) that's umbrellaing us right now. Unfortunately, I've talked to like 19 CPAs to try to get mine finalized, and nobody's taking on new clients. It's really interesting how that's working. And so I've got an umbrella scenario. We've got a corporate liaison who's helping with corporate funding and donating, and then we also have a grant writer who's going to help us with that. But right now, it's basically everybody's just using their own money. Everybody's just walking out the door and just saying, I'm going to do this on my own. Like I said, I've been doing it. We're going on 30 days, and I'm out of money. But I don't care. I've got everything I need, and I'm going to keep helping.
Well, so. give us a tour down here. I'll follow you, and tell me. What is, I mean, it looks like we're in the middle of nowhere and you're holding the fort down. Like, I'm a little bit nervous myself being here, but, can you just talk about your responsibilities right now?
Well, I'm a mountain girl anyways. I've got family in the Smokies, family in the Rockies. Like, this is the ideal scenario for, hey, if there's an emergency or if there's any type of thing, we are in a really good spot right now. But what it was really about was just the acreage and the willingness to let us move, trucks and trailers up here. I mean, they've been so kind. So we've got a pavilion right here. That's where actually all of our supplies are going to go, and we're going to have them tented. A lot of the supplies that can't be in the rain or in the weather, in the elements, we're going to have up in the cabin. It's actually our cabin that we're able to use now for the next 2 weeks. I've got volunteers that come in. Basically, we couldn't get the major supply drop up, so it's actually sitting down there. I think y'all probably passed it.
Yes.
And so I've kind of been going back up and down trying to get everything up here. And I personally go through every single one of them. People package them great, but when it comes to donating, we found some interesting things in some of the areas. And if somebody wants women's clothes, you don't just throw a garbage bag that says women's clothes at them. You ask what size, you ask, what season is it? What do you need? I have a family right now that they're engaged. They're supposed to be married in December. Their wedding rings were washed away. And I mean, it's the little things like that. And that actually takes cash funding. Nobody that donates, has wedding rings in there. But I want to get her a new set of, even if it's cheap and not necessarily what she wants, it's the little things that. I had a lady ask me for Dr. Pepper and granola bars. She was like, I really, really need it. And
Texas?
I was like, I got you. I understand. Yeah. So we have an adopt a family, adopt a neighborhood program. What we're trying to do is actually cater to what they need, not just, hey, this is a drop, can you get here? Some of these people, like the woman with the, that needs the wedding ring, she's in a wheelchair. She's not mobile. So, asking her to get to a hub, even if she needs this stuff, it's not realistic. And so, like I said, we've got ATVs, we'll hike it up. I don't care. We'll drop people down from helicopters.
Lacey, can you show us the command? I know you just got here. I know it's not perfect yet, but
no, but it's okay.
Can you take us tour and show us your command?
So this is actually where the volunteers will be camping.
Okay.
Obviously, the supplies and everything else will be right over here. I did just get here, so it does look a little empty, but trust me, in the next 2 weeks, it's going to be crazy.
How many teams are you kind of leading right now? And what do you do for these SAR teams? Are you trying to get them supplies?
So actually, yes.
Volunteers?
I mean, honestly, everything. I do have the funding coming in, so I'm hoping to be able to get, the SAR teams are really interested right now in getting cadaver dog scent kits. Well, the cheapest that I found, it's $848 for one. And again, there's organizations that have these things that aren't here. So we need this stuff. And so right now it's, my partner is actually SAR certified. He is a river rescue guide. Basically, he's definitely not somebody who has been recovering bodies ever, but because there's nobody else here that's certified, they're actually using the SAR and the river folk to actually do this, which is They're for it, but it's still a little disappointing that civilians are having to do this stuff.
You getting out of breath, Lacey?
A little bit.
I'm out of breath. I need that. I'm in my 40s. I've been out of breath all day.
All right, so let me make sure my dog, there we go. All right, so yeah, this is a little bit of a mess, so you're just gonna have to like forgive it. And there's my car, it's a mess too.
And then, obviously I want to talk about whether or not you have concerns about water. I want to talk about, go ahead.
Up here, we're pretty okay. All the devastation is down there. They have a spring here that we get the water source from. The problem is there's not a lot of talk about what's really in the water.
What's in the water?
Well, you're looking at forever chemicals from a lot of plants that nobody's talking about, and you're looking at radiation. There was a Black Rock facility in the 40s that was burying stuff, and when it flooded, we have cadaver dogs teams that are dead, and I feel really guilty about that because I helped bring them in. We have confirmed boots that are disintegrating in certain soil scenarios. Like, none of that is actual normal flood scenario.
So what's it coming from? It's not, floodwaters, although dangerous, right? You're talking about corrosive, radioactive. Is it just from?
So that facility in the 40s, which you can look it up. It's very real. Like, they're not even hiding it. They were burying everything. And so when everything got flooded, all of that got mixed into the soil, into the air, into the water. I've got friends that are infested with parasites. We've got confirmed illnesses that nobody can really understand, and then the diagnostics that they're getting from whatever medical place that they were at, it's not adding up. Like, the symptoms are not adding up to what they're saying is causing it. And so, like I said, we've got teams. There are so many people here that are so smart, and they're not gonna let this go. And so, we just want questions. We've known that, there's corruption in a lot of things, the world is like that. But just tell us how to help each other. Tell us how to help the people that are here that are sick and don't know why they're sick. We had a woman who, she was so excited when her water got turned back on, she jumped in the shower. She's got chemical burns all over her body. Like, that's not normal. That's not flood stuff. And honestly, we've never had a flood here. The amount of victims that I have that not only did not have flood insurance, but were actually refused flood insurance when they wanted the whole package. They were told it didn't exist. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating. Nobody really knows what's going on. And like I said, look, I did quit my job to do this, and I think I'm pretty good. Sorry, my beer's in the...
That's all right.
I know, right? No, listen, with nervous system depressants.
Yeah, this is your command center. I wanted to ask you though real quick. This is, first of all, a beautiful command center, amazing view. I know you said corruption. I talked to a SAR team in Tennessee. They basically told me that the mortality count is way higher than what's being reported.
Do you know what is the actual report number? I think it's like in the 200s.
I've seen 250 to 300.
It's 10,000.
Why aren't they reporting it?
Y'all tell me.
I have no idea. It's hard. Does that?
I lived in Nashville. I lived in Tornado Alley. I've seen what an F5 can do to a town. I've never had to stand in the middle of it and try to convince people that it was happening, though.
Do you think that they're suppressing the story?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why? I really couldn't probably tell you, other than it's a land grab. Do you know that CPS is now taking children from tent cities?
Talk about the tent cities. I want you now to talk about the tent cities, and then tell the viewers. I want you to compare the tent cities and tell the viewers what you told me about the FEMA camps.
All right, that's hard. So tent cities are happening everywhere. Obviously, people just try to figure out what they can do. We have burn barrels, we have things like that. We have propane heaters. We've been bringing in food. We do all that. But really, we want to rebuild. People don't want to leave their homes. So we have actually a program here to where we will help you keep your taxes up. We will help you keep your land if you do need to relocate. We've got places in Arizona, Mississippi, and I guess New Mexico now, that, just better climates for the winter. And so we can help temporarily put families or elderly people or anybody who really needs it. But what I've been finding is people want to fight for their land because they're not really understanding exactly what has happened. And so if everybody just leaves, then yeah, they will be able to come in and just take it. And so, these are mountain people. They're the coolest but most not going people I've ever met. And so, it's very confusing. You have FEMA offering $300,000 to some people and then nothing to some others. They're not here. And honestly, the camps that, these fugitive refugee camps that they're calling them.
And you're talking about the FEMA now, right? Okay, so the FEMA camps are you said refugee camps. Are you saying because of the conditions
There's
of the
not
camp?
a single refugee in these camps. There's nothing but armed guards with AK-47s and a bunch of really big equipment that does not look safe or fun or welcoming.
Okay.
And like I said, they're not picking people up and asking them to come. They're just building these facilities that, I mean.
So just to reiterate, you're saying at the FEMA camps that are designed to house, citizens, they're being guarded by soldiers, potentially soldiers with AK-47s?
It's private security. They're not soldiers.
There's private security. Why
would you need that, right?
I don't why. I mean, is there any speculation on?
Yeah, everybody knows. I mean, well.
Tell me. G rated, PG-13.
It's not good. I don't know what else to say. It's not good. It doesn't bring any warming, welcoming feelings. If it was, they would already be here. They'd be helping people. People are digging themselves out. People are finding their own bodies. People are alone right now. And so, yeah, we have the National Guard that's not here. Yeah, I mean, they've been here. And the funny thing is when we were at the Regional Livestock Center, we had the National Guard come in and they were reallocating supplies. Every single one of those soldiers were my kids' age, 18, 19, 20. Not only that, none of us would care. There's no competition here. If you're helping, you're helping. We don't care. But I have not seen, and I've not had one person confirm that I've seen a Humvee in somebody else's driveway dropping off supplies. So where are you taking them? Where is it? You've got concerts and benefits right now from these famous people. Where is the money? Somebody said that what's-his-face raised $24 million. Where? Show us. We will be okay with that. But you let us know where $24 million worth of help is coming. Because I can tell you right now of 10 families that I just met in the last 2 days. They don't, what? Where? You're not going to miss out on $24 million worth of supplies. You have helicopter crews that are being told that they're going to get arrested if they help people. You have, I'm a psych major, so my big issue is psych medicines. You can't stop taking psych meds. It is dangerous for you. It's dangerous for the people around you. People weren't able to do anything. They're barely able to keep surviving. It's about to start getting really cold here. You've got seasonal depression. You've got a lot of suicide watch. I have mental health experts that are on the ready, but I can't do it all by myself. And I don't think really anybody can. We are linked up with 4 other groups. Unfortunately, like I said, TikTok has been basically our best option as being able to get support.
Lacey, can I ask you if say we lived in a perfect world, or say you were the head of some type of municipality, what would you say that they should be doing?
There's no bars holded now, I guess.
Yeah.
I would like a reconstruction of our whole government. I don't think anything is functioning right anymore. I think that we've been hacked. These are just people. They don't care about world domination or whatever else. They just want to live. And perfect world, we would have help. We wouldn't, everybody wanted to talk about the election. Well, 10,000 people are dead, so they couldn't vote, and 10,000 other people are displaced, so they couldn't vote either, and nobody seemed to actually care about that. When are we going to start living in a somewhat fair scenario? When you talk to a mother who was not able to hold on to her 7-year-old's hand and had to watch him literally get swallowed by a landslide, which I've never seen a landslide. I'm gonna tell you what, I'll take a tornado, I'll take an earthquake, I'll take whatever. Landslides are terrifying. It is the world just drops underneath you and it becomes this massive, people were getting in their cars. Have you seen some of the cars? They were getting in their cars because they thought it would help them. They're flattened. We found a woman who, obviously, when the whole water scenario happened, you could tell she was trying to get back to her infant in the back of the car to get him out. Her and the infant were still there. You had bodies just hanging in trees. One of the women that I interviewed, she's actually a friend of mine. We grew up together. I didn't even know she lived out here. She reached out to me on social media. The landslide that happened behind her house, it was like a river just opened up in the mountains. And I don't know how else to explain it other than it was like the hand of God just said, no, not this house. And, she's almost 8 months pregnant. They're terrified of what is in the water and in the soil. And she's got 4 kids that are just the cutest little things in the world. And it's, these are my people. These are my people, and I actually don't care. The whole world is my people. But I don't know how else to help other than say, okay, I'm going to help you get that tree off your house. Like we're going to, but no, I mean, insurance companies aren't answering. FEMA's not answering. IRS is not answering. They have some sort of ban on 501(c)(3)s that are trying to be created right now. Like they're just literally actively trying not to help us. And I don't really know why.
I've been hearing people say that CPS has been coming into these tent cities, and if there's children in these tent cities, that they're taking the children away. Is that true?
So one of the women that I work with out of California, she is one of the 0.0001% that actually got her child back after trafficked. She has been a voice and a force in this this situation for a long time. And so I called her immediately because I knew that was going to happen. The problem is by the time these people, unfortunately, I do know how the family system works. By the time these people even get a point to where they can hire their own attorney, their kids will be in the system and possibly already their rights taken away. If not, you'll get a court-appointed attorney, which, they have no fight. They have no home. They have no nothing. They have no food. So how in the world are you telling them that they are just inadequate to take care of their children? Where's the help? A tornado comes in Nashville and nobody was taking kids away. It didn't exist. But now we've got 30 plus cities that I can probably name right now that are completely devastated. I mean, by the time we even find out, I don't know how I'm going to help these families because we know how the system works, or you should. If you don't, then I don't know where you've been. But
Lacey, can we talk about now, and I want to end on giving some messages to people, but can you talk about, it takes a lot to show up, but it takes even more to stay here because the honeymoon phase is gone. Mm-hmm. It's all grit and heart, and I'm sure there's a lot of self-talking, maybe praying and stuff, but can you share maybe a story of what volunteer, maybe part of the SAR team or not, that has motivated you the most? Like when you're tired, you're like, no, I got to keep pushing because this person does this. Can you share that with us?
Yes. There's a lot that goes on when you're like, I do feel very much like a war reporter when I'm doing the footage and stuff like that. It's not only devastation, but we live in our trucks. We're like storm chasers, basically. We go where the damage is. And there is a partner of mine that I will say, he was there at the very beginning. He lives in Hartford, and when he was awoken at 3 o'clock in the morning to people wondering if he was okay, he literally got in his own kayak and was like trying to help his own neighbors. He then got in his car and he was on I-40 as it was collapsing, trying to get to the other side so he could help. Day 8 for me, the first time I was in the field, I realized that it had been a lot longer for him. I made him calculate it. I was like, how long? It was 36 days. Our brains are broken. There's a lot of trauma bonding. There's a lot of people that I didn't know 10 days ago that I will know for the rest of my life. So he is probably my biggest, I guess. Well, his job is gone. He was on the river, you know what I mean? His river is completely done, So, he also doesn't have a job just like me. Mine was a little bit more voluntary, but, yeah.
No, Lacey, we've talked to a fair amount of volunteers. Can you give a message to the volunteers right now that are burnt out and want to quit?
Yes. Don't. I've got funding. It is so hard. It is so, so hard in a situation to where your brain, again, I was a psych major. I knew all this stuff could happen, but I've never felt it myself, independently. It is really difficult. But the only thing that keeps me going, truly, is the other people. If you want to help, there's still help. If you need to get paid to help, I can probably help that. There's nothing wrong with needing to continue your life. There's nothing wrong with wanting to help, but also I have bills. That there's nothing wrong with that. But I have mental health people that are actually willing to, they give free assessments for volunteers and for victims. Keep your mental health up, keep a smile on as much as you can. And just remember that you're the one that is doing this. Everybody here that needs help, it's literally just the people like us that are just walking out our door to do it. And it's, I think, one of the most beautiful things I've ever been a part of.
Are you from North Carolina?
I'm actually from Tennessee. I'm originally from Nashville, but I live in Sevierville.
But you're in North Carolina right now, so can you...
Well, basically, I live here, yeah.
Well, now, right, but can you give a message to now the citizens of North Carolina that feel like the world has abandoned, because maybe they don't even know that you're here, just giving your heart and soul to just try to help anyone that you see and everyone that you see. Can you just share with them
Absolutely.
that you're coming and to reach out to
I'm
you?
here. I'm not going anywhere. I don't know if it's 6 months or 3 years, but I'm going to build a team. We have a whole rebuilding process. We have an educational center that are coming to help people like basically live sustainably on their own, because we might obviously need that since there's no help. But I'm not going anywhere. Neither any of the people that I'm working on. I have every single thing I was doing. I have 2 kids. I have 2 teenagers in Nashville, and they know what I'm doing. They're supporting it, but I've literally dropped everything to come and do this, and I'm not going anywhere.
And then can we end by, talk to the real estate mindset community. It's not going to be the world, but can you just tell the viewers what they need to know that they are not hearing or seeing on mainstream media? Tell them what you need them to know about this situation, please.
Well, everything that you've been told is not true. I mean, basically, 10,000 people dead at least, 10,000 displaced. Whatever people want to say politically or controversially, I don't know. All I know is I'm standing here and I've seen it. And it's not a lie. You can't AI this. Like I said, I've seen towns devastated. Have you seen 40 towns devastated? This is, and nobody's even talking about the smaller, encompassing little places that are not even really a town. They're just a byproduct of this big other city. I mean, they're gone. They're gone. And people have no help. They're not getting any type of response from insurance companies, from FEMA, or anything else. I mean, we had a whole election without all these people.
How can we support you?
So right now, like I said, I understand that most people, they really need a 501(c), and I get that. Tax write-offs, having the legitimacy, and they're really, I do need people to hear me. Be careful who you donate to. It is kind of the wild, wild west out here, and there's a lot of people that are kind of being nefarious. I will put my personal number in the bio here. I will let him, anybody who contacts him, he can set you up straight with me. You can talk directly to me. I will FaceTime you and show you what I'm doing. The Adopted Family Program, Adopted Neighborhood Program, I'll show you exactly who you're helping. There is nothing here to hide, but what we need money. I need to keep diesel in the trucks. I need to keep fuel in the chainsaws. I need to keep food in these boys. I need to be able to, like I said, the wedding rings, things like that. I bought phones for people. There was a lot of people that, when we go into the community, when we help someone, when we're done helping them, we say, okay, where can we go? And so then they send us. Well, there's a couple people, they're like, well, you have to just drive there because they don't have a phone. Well, we went out and bought them a phone. There's just a whole lot that kind of encompasses what you can do to help, but we need funding. And unfortunately, like I said, I mean, I don't know why the red tape is there, but it is. And so, like I said, you can call me directly. I'll show you exactly where it's going.
All right. Well, last question, Lacey. Why are you so awesome?
There's a lot of my exes are going to be like, oh, I don't know about that.
Is that what I can end on that note? You want to end on that note? I'll end on that note. No, go ahead.
Give shit. I don't know. I've had a lot of people in my life ask me why I care so much, and I don't really know how to answer that. Why don't you?
Why aren't you? Y'all, that is an American hero right there, Lacey. Let's show her that as a community, we're here to support people just like her. All of her information, her contact information is going to be there. Don't overwhelm her. Show her some love and just pray for what's going on. Let's continue to help her until the job is done. Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. I have a treat for you guys today. We're about to do an interview with a SAR Communication Center member. I just left Chimney Rock. You guys are going to love that story. Drove all the way out here. And real quick before I begin this video, I wanted to say thank you. The original SAR team in Tennessee, we generated about, counting the tithe for my wife and I think $8,500. They were flat broke when we saw them. So, they're talking about you guys nonstop. And, this video is going to be extremely important because, well, just listen to this. I appreciate your time today, and I'm looking forward to discussing your concerns and basically why you're here and what what you're doing. Can you start by telling the viewers why you're here and what you're doing?
So I am a psych and marketing major. That 30 days ago, I had no idea I'd be doing this. I live in Sevierville, Tennessee. We live right next to Newport, which was obviously devastated as well. I had friends that once I realized what they were going through, I was like, I need to know a little bit more, like what's going on. And Then I went out with a very, very big convoy, like 300-person convoy. Obviously, everybody gets really excited, especially at the very beginning. And it was wonderful. I met some really great people, but the inefficiency was a little bit apparent, I guess. And so when I started kind of putting my own kind of spin to it, people just started coming up to me and they were like, hey, you know, what do I do now? What do I do next? And so I guess I just started my own little team. So we were actually at the Livestock Regional Center. There's a property that's government property beside it, and they want to build apartment complexes because a building, you know, rebuilding houses isn't really an important thing for them, I guess, at the moment. So they were telling us we had to leave. So I was gifted, I would say, with this wonderful property for 2 weeks. A lot of the people in the community, they don't mind helping because they're devastated. They don't have any help right now. There's no help other than civilian help. So when I reached out, they were like, yeah, come on, you know. And so right over here, I'll give you a little bit of a tour.
And Lacey, how are you able to do this? I mean, are you working right now? Talk about.
No, I quit my job 2 weeks ago to do this full time. I actually did just spend my last dollar. So we have